Greetings, loves. This is Annette of AnnetteLeonard.com, back with Chronic Wellness. Thanks for joining me. I'm continuing to explore last week's theme of hopelessness and its antidote being agency. And there are a lot of ways and reasons and times that I have experienced hopelessness because of chronic illness. And some days it's about the shroud of a diagnosis and all that that it holds, both in terms of the daily onslaught of symptoms or the prognosis for the future. Or maybe it's the hopelessness of the intensity of chronic pain that I'm managing. Perhaps it's the hopelessness around insults to my identity, like loss of independence and the fact that I really don't drive anymore. So there are all these reasons, right, to be hopeless. And so what could the role of agency be in each of those frontiers, you know? And for me, sometimes with a diagnosis, agency is in educating myself all that I can about an illness. It's having a Google alert on my computer about some of the most difficult diagnoses that I have, so that when new research or new news stories or new information comes to light about those illnesses, I'm on the leading edge of them and getting information about studies that are being done or new discoveries. And that makes me feel a little less hopeless. And when it comes to chronic pain, for me, sometimes agency is in using the mitigating factors that I have for managing that pain, whether it's using a heating pad, using ice, taking some of my breakthrough meds, or even using guided meditation to work with and be with my pain. But I think really the more difficult and ongoing, maybe not difficult, but the bigger and ongoing work around agency for me has been about the larger life questions in the loss of future. You know, I used to have a career. I used to have big dreams and big plans for myself. I used to do a lot of traveling and a lot of outdoor adventuring. I used to sing. I used to dance and roller skate and trying to cultivate agency around building new dreams for myself. And that is where I think the present moment focus that I referenced, Pema Chodron, you know, one of my sacred texts, is her book, When Things Fall Apart, where she says, abandon all hope. And this idea that it really is in this breath, in this moment, in the now, that I can experience the agency of choosing what I do next, in deciding which wolf I will feed. If you know that parable of the wolves, whether I choose fear or love, whether I move toward my better nature or toward my closed up, shut off, smaller self. And I don't always choose love, folks. I sometimes choose to curl up in a ball and feel sorry for myself, but I don't choose to dwell there, for much the same reason that this podcast is called Chronic Wellness, because I am not these illnesses. I am this wholeness. And I believe the same is true of you. But if you are struggling against the dark shroud of hopelessness, I hope, there's that word, that you can find a toehold for yourself, a way to gain traction in your life and with your spirit on the solid ground of agency. What do you have a say over in this moment? Even if it's just whether or not to turn the light on, whether or not to sit up in bed, whether or not to listen to a podcast or listen to music or listen to the sound of your beating heart. What can you choose right now for yourself that feels good? Thank you for being here. I hope you will tell me about your experiences of hopelessness and agency. And until we're together again, thank you for traveling down this path with me a little bit, and be well.